guys, let's move.
All right.
That's more serious. Okay. Excellent. That worked. Thank you, Meg. Okay, so we are going to start the final session of Sanders Fest, or at least the final scientific session. Then will come the roasting part. Yes. Okay, excellent. So we are going to start with another member of the IFA Ohana, Tomo, and
Okay, thank you very much. I want to start with a question. How many of you have seen turtle this week?
This week.
Oh, there are actually quite a bit, but it's probably maybe 5%, something like that. So maybe you might think the turtle formation rate in Hawaii may be very low, you might think. But if you look hard enough, actually you can find turtles, and then if you look, but you will find, but if you look in the right wavelengths, you can find obscured turtles, and then there are actually many. So this is one of Dave's postdocs looking for doing a research on obscure turtles. So that's what I'm going to. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm talking about obscure star formation rate history using Akari Space Infrared Telescope, and of course Dave is a collaborator. This is a work with many collaborators, including Matt and Dave and many people. I want to introduce my team group members. I'm trying to expand Dave's academic tree. So now I'm lucky to work with two postdocs. And this Tetsuya in particular, he's very good. He submitted 3 papers to Nature, except that all of them are rejected. Still good. My students are also doing good. So these are my students, and then many of them are earning money through poster prizes and talk prizes. And these are grad students, and they are undergrad students too. And this particular student, I thought he got poster prize, but his poster was horrible, I thought, so I gave him many comments. He ignored all my comments, and the next day he got the poster prize. I told him it's a test to tell the good comments and bad comments. Anyway, so to find obscure turtles, we built the Akari Space Infrared Telescope to observe in infrared. And so this is the launch movie. So it's up in space. And then Akari did 2 large surveys. One is all sky survey up to 160 micron, and then the other is has a deep field here at NAP region. Deep field contains 2 to 24 micron 9 meter infrared filter data. So first I talk about this NAP deep field data. Akari's data spans about 5 square degrees in NAP. So this is Akari's medium infrared color coded data. But previously we had a problem that we only had the deep optical data in this tiny supreme com 0.25 square degree area. So all our previous paper are based on this tiny bit of area, although Akari's data spans 5 square degrees. And recently we got HSC data, Subaru's hyperspectrum data, to cover the whole 5 square degrees. So now we can use whole Akari's data for science. Okay, and one of my students computed photo Z, delta Z is 0.05, so it's okay. And then I show 8 micron luminosity function with this new HSC photo Z. 8 micron is a very good wavelength to study obscure star formation rate, because 8 micron emission is from PAH and it looks like I need to install Java.
It tells me on all the time.
Okay, come back tomorrow.
Okay, the PAH is excellent because, sorry, it stopped working.
Okay, it's probably because of the other button. I'll show.
Okay, 8 micron is a good wavelength because PAH molecules look like turtle. So here, the unique feature of Akari is this 9 continuous mid-infrared the mid-inner filters. In case of Spitzer, there was a gap between 8 micron and 24 micron. So because of these continuous filters, whatever redshift your galaxy is, one of those filters capture rest frame 8 micron, so directly measure rest frame 8 micron. For example, your galaxy is at 0.7, then 15 micron filter is going to directly capture 8 micron. Redshift 1.2, you can move to 18 micron filter to catch a rest frame 8 micron, so you can directly measure that and so on. And then in case of Spitzer, if you have a gap here, then your 8 micron feature is in the gap. There's not many ways. You have to extrapolate based on SED models, and this was the largest uncertainty for this kind of work using Spitzer data. And then we don't have this uncertainty. And this is resulting 8 micron luminosity function. We corrected completeness using Vmax method. And then you see from low redshift to high redshift, you see a steady evolution in infrared luminosity function. Okay, and then we also did the total infrared luminosity function. In this case, we still need to rely on SED fitting, but if we have 9 bands here, it's more reliable than 4 or 5 bands. This is total infrared luminosity function. From low redshift to high redshift, you see a steady evolution in infrared luminosity function. Okay, so this is high redshift work up to redshift 1.5 or 2. So, but Akari can do more. Nowadays, people are building a large telescope, including JWST, TMT, speaker, and then try to push this cosmic star formation history to higher and higher redshift. But what we want to understand is evolution. So I think understanding this low redshift point accurately is also important to understand evolution accurately. And this is where Akari's all-sky survey can do good work. And of course, in local infrared luminosity function, there's a monster paper, this Sanders 03 paper. But this paper is using IRAS data. IRAS is a satellite almost 20 years ago. This paper is cited more than 1,000 times. But Akari data can do better in 2 key points, which I explain now. The first one is availability of 160 micron. So if you're using IRAS data IRAS is only up to 100 micron, so you cannot capture the turnover of the dust. But if you have 160 micron data, you can accurately capture the turnover of the dust, and so you can more accurately measure the infrared luminosity of, infrared luminosity of individual galaxies. So that's one point. And then Akari is the only satellite that provides 160 micron to all sky. The other is statistics. They use 600 galaxies, which is a large number at that time. But now we have 15,000 galaxies by combining Akari's all-sky survey data with a lot of various low redshift SPEC-Z surveys. So imagine one Dave Sanders is already powerful enough, but we have 20 times Dave Sanders. 20 Dave Sanders, so you can imagine it's very, very powerful. Takes a long time to. And then we now we have infrared galaxies, measured luminosity, or individual infrared luminosity. So we use the Vmax method to correct. Then we can construct the low redshift luminosity infrared luminosity function. Okay, so now is the moment of truth. Was the IRAS result Sanders 03 paper correct or not? Okay, we have more statistic, more accurate infrared measurement, right? So this is okay, moment of truth. So this is our result. So our result is in black. This black data points. It's nice and smooth. And then Dave Sanders' result is these green points. And unfortunately, our more accurate data points are on top of Dave's points. So actually, infrared giant was correct. But I still think to more accurately measure low redshift infrared luminosity function is still important, scientifically important, I think. So now we have infrared luminosity function, so we just integrate, and then we can make my dot plot, and that's here. So high redshift, these points are from Akari's NEP deep field, and then low redshift point here is from Akari's All Sky survey. And I want to emphasize this at low redshift point is because no sky far infrared survey is planned in the future, so this can stay as the best data set for many years. I want to mention about the future of this field. So, because this is Akari's orbit, but the other space telescope also has similar constraints. Space telescope do not want to look at the sun or the Earth, so then this NEP region is a natural choice of the deep field. And indeed, many future satellites are planning deep field in NEP region, including Rosetta, JWST, Euclid, and blah, blah, blah. Then we already have HSC data in Akari field, and also we have about 3,000 spec-Z that I took with Dave, with Deimos and FMOS, and also we have Korean Scuba 2 data. So I plan to continue collaboration with Dave. So I think this NEP region is like Dave, Dave at the center, and the postdoc and students are surrounding, and I hope like more fruitful future in this collaboration. I put up a summary, and then thank you everyone. Thanks, Dave.
Okay, thank you very much. And questions for Tomo. And before going there, after diving many times with him, more than in turtles, he's an expert finding sharks and getting us lost in the middle of the ocean. But I'm not going to get into that. Questions?
What was the result?
Okay, no,
I have a question. Well, since Akari is all sky, why don't you find very luminous quasars at high redshift, or do you find luminous quasars at high redshift?
Luminous quasars, high redshift. Well, so Akari's all sky survey is far infrared, so it's not as sensitive to go very, very far out in the redshift.
But Sloan is a not very deep survey at all, but they find high redshift objects because the volume is large. But they only find the most luminous ones. But presumably there should be some very luminous high redshift things in your sample.
Well, it's possible because IRAS, Dave and others found from IRAS, so it may be possible. But just for your reference, if you look at individual quasars, Sloan quasars, redshift 6, 7, then it's not detected in Akari because it's fine for it.
So just out of curiosity, how deep is your 160 micron depth?
How deep? I don't have a number offhand. I need to look at the
that might
table.
into your question.
Right.
Well, it's kind of the same question. What would be the luminosity that you could detect at redshift 4 or 5?
Oh, 4. So my luminosity function is stopping at redshift 2.
No, but what? You must have calculated.
Yeah, I don't have an accurate number, but it must be 14 or something like that.
10 to 14.
So, yeah.
Mike, you had a question. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to ask you about the last point about the census of obscured AGNs.
Okay.
Are you mean because you have the multiband colors, or I'm trying to think. I mean, I know you would detect a lot of obscured AGNs, but I'm thinking about that. Can you add anything more about that?
Yeah. So this we're trying to do the meter infrared. So we have a low resolution meter infrared spectra for thousands of galaxies.
Right.
So we are trying to to do the acid fit to separate PAH emission and the AGNs, this power law in medium infrared warm dust. That's how we try to recover obscured AGN. And actually, we wanted to compare with your SWIFT data. So if you remember, we asked your SWIFT data, and you kindly sent us the catalog.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten. I did at least send you the data.
Yes, I appreciate that.
But
yes.
how many? I was wondering, like, how many do you think like, what fraction or how many AGN? Do you have any idea, like the total number, or have you had a chance to kind of look through the power laws and other things and see how many obscure AGN you have?
Well, so it was, I compared it with Jahan's fraction, and it was consistent with what Jahan's finding. But again, even in medium infrared, it's very difficult to draw a line, right? There's always composite things. So it largely depends on where you put the line. And fraction can easily go up and down by this criteria. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tomo.